Facilitator queuing and prisoners of silence.
Why is it that most of the time, most of the autistic individuals are not looking at the keyboard?
Welcome to another video critique of facilitated communication. The clips in this video are from the 1993 Frontline documentary Prisoners of Silence, and are examples of just some of the behaviors facilitators exhibit to this day that raise concerns about FC authorship. More detailed information about FC is available at the end of this video and in the description box below. Facilitator behaviors that raise concerns about authorship. Concerns about authorship are raised when the facilitator holds onto the client's wrist or other body part and maintains eye contact with the board during letter selection. Facilitators may not realize the extent to which they control letter selection through visual, auditory, or physical cueing. To facilitators, the communications feel like they are coming from the client and not their own movements. For example, the facilitator may tug at the client's shirt sleeve to guide or inhibit the client's movements. The facilitator may also hold onto the client's elbow and block movements during letter selection. Even subtle changes in pressure, pinches at the elbow, tugs at the sleeve, and other movements from the facilitator, like rocking back and forth, provide visual cues to the client that may affect where the person touches the keyboard, and teaches clients through behavior modification where the facilitator wants them to touch the board or when the facilitator wants them to pull their hand away. Clients are rewarded for compliance, even if it's highly unlikely that they are the authors of the FC-generated messages. Notice how the student never looks at the keyboard, but he gets a high five at the end.
What's 6 times 2? Good. Okay, space. What's 12 times 12 plus 1? We carried the 1, remember? What's 12 plus 1? Excellent. Give me 5. Okay.
Selecting letters without looking. Perhaps the most commonly cited problem with FC is that facilitators often continue selecting letters even when their clients are looking away from the letterboard, have poor engagement with the activity, or have their eyes closed. It is commonplace that the facilitator maintains eye contact with the letterboard while the client looks around the room. But can anyone type with one finger without looking at the keyboard?
It's certainly true that a touch typist can type without looking at the keyboard. Connie Cesari, star graduate of the Catherine Gibbs School, can type 100 words a minute without looking. She has memorized the layout of the keys. But before starting, she registers her hands in a home position. This is her reference. Frontline wanted to see if she could type with one finger without looking. Despite her intimate knowledge of the keyboard, she can't. Nobody can. Without a reference, it's just impossible.
Shocking behaviors by FC leaders. Perhaps one of the more shocking revelations of Prisoners of Silence was that the FC experts featured in the documentary didn't appear to be concerned about facilitated control over letter selection in daily practice.
But does the Facilitated Communication Institute practice what it preaches? In the conference last May, Annegret Schubert, arguably the most expert facilitator in the world, gave a seminar on the importance of clients looking at the keyboard.
Are able to work with less support. Is there anything you want to share with me about it?
Yet minutes afterwards, she was in the corridor talking to a man with his eyes closed and a letterboard moving around in the air. And even when Doug Bicklin was present, we filmed Jeff Powell typing while looking at the ceiling, something Bicklin concedes is impossible.
Facilitating with someone in a coma. And perhaps the most concerning example of facilitated control included in the documentary was founder Rosemary Crosley using FC with a man in a coma. Here she uses a head pointer instead of holding his arm. The editors of the film drew a white line at the top of the screen to show that Crosley was slowly moving the board. I added the red line to emphasize that the pointer barely moves.
Rosemary Crosley, the founder of FC, is facilitating with a head injury victim in a coma to make a very important decision about where he will live. Because the man is in a coma, his head pointer barely moves throughout the taping. By drawing a line on the screen, it is easy to see that Rosemary Crosley is ever so slowly moving the board.
Summary. In today's video, we saw just some examples of how facilitators may inadvertently cue their clients by holding onto the person's wrist, forearm, elbow, or other body part during letter selection, maintaining constant eye contact with the letterboard, moving the letterboard in the air, blocking the movements of the individual being facilitated, selecting letters when clients have their eyes closed or are not looking at the board, providing visual cues through body movements such as rocking back and forth. The science. To date, there is no scientifically rigorous evidence to prove that facilitated communication produces independent communication. Controlled studies show that facilitators, not their clients, are producing the typed messages. Because of concerns about prompt dependency, facilitator cueing, lack of scientific evidence, and other potential harms, many organizations oppose the use of facilitator-reliant techniques such as FC. These include, but are not limited to, American Speech-Language Hearing Association, American Association on Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities, American Psychological Association, Association for Behavior Analysis, Association for Science and Autism Treatment. FC has many names, including, but not limited to, supported typing, informative pointing, spelling to communicate, rapid prompting method, spellish method, spelling with eyes. This educational video is intended to draw attention to the problem of facilitator cueing and facilitator-reliant techniques, and is not a criticism of the individuals being subjected to FC use. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment to help grow this project. For more information about FC, including systematic reviews, controlled studies, opposition statements, and more, please visit facilitatedcommunication.org. Links to resources are in the description box below this video. Thank you for watching until the end. FC is not science.